The vast majority of people could eat better.
You mean healthier? Including us?
Oh, yeah.
So why don't we all? What's stopping people?
I can think of 3 reasons: too expensive, too time consuming, or it tastes like crap.
These are all valid reasons to me.
Sometimes they are, but with a little bit of planning, we can overcome that. That's why we now have a series of videos about eating cheaply without working your fingers to the bone.
Because when you work your fingers to the bone, you get bony fingers.
Diabetes sucks.
But at Simply Diabetes, we can help you manage your diabetes cheaper and easier.
We are not medical professionals. We are people with diabetes, just like you.
Welcome.
I'm so hungry.
You're always hungry.
I know, but it's time for breakfast.
Food has gotten so expensive, and healthy food in particular is downright crazy.
Yes. So in this series of videos, we share our go-to meals that are quick, easy, and inexpensive. I don't know about you, but I hate cooking. I would literally rather be anywhere but in the kitchen. When I met Ken, he claimed he likes cooking, but apparently I cured him of that.
But we have to eat something.
Yeah.
Having diabetes, we need to eat good quality foods while we need to be careful about carbs. We want the meals to be tasty and filling, so we try to make them reasonably low carb. And we try to make them balanced so that they include protein, fiber, and vegetables. Or fruit.
Right. Since cooking is no fun for us, we want to minimize the time we spend in the kitchen. And we gave ourselves a goal of making these meals as inexpensively as possible.
That's a tall order, but we're up for the challenge.
But before we start, I'd like to clarify something. These meals require very little work, but that doesn't mean they are always ready right away. Some are, but some steps take time. For example, if you want to make yogurt at home, the work time is literally minutes. But we must allow the bacteria enough time to do their fermenting magic. So we'll set the yogurt to ferment and wait. In some cases, it's all about planning.
One of the frequently recommended breakfasts is oatmeal. It's quick and cheap.
I've heard that too many times. I have no idea where this recommendation comes from. Many nutritionists repeat this all the time, and it feels like someone decided this one day, and everybody now repeats the same thing. But oatmeal is not that great for diabetics. It's less carby than some other options, but it still raises blood sugar a lot more than we like. I have proof of that. I tried eating oatmeal, and each time my sugar blew up. Look at these 2 graphs of my blood sugar. One is after eating oatmeal for breakfast, and the other is after homemade Greek yogurt and a few blueberries.
I can see how oatmeal is nowhere near as good an option.
It's even worse if you eat it with fruit such as a banana. And it doesn't matter if it's regular or steel cut. If you don't believe me, do an experiment yourself and see what exactly oatmeal does to your blood sugar. We have better options.
There are steel cut bananas? Oatmeal is cheap. If money is tight, you might be tempted to eat anything inexpensive just to fill the tummy.
But when you have diabetes, you can't eat any old food and hope for the best. You need good nutrition, as we said earlier, including veggies, fruit, protein, and healthy fats. And you most definitely don't need sugar and simple carbs.
Unfortunately, cheap eats are often carby.
They can be. To counteract that, some people recommend tiny portions. That's not good if you then get hungry soon after eating. I was looking at a YouTube channel that will remain nameless. They offered breakfast ideas for 35 cents per serving.
Sounds awesome.
It does. But then they said it's actually not enough food, and you will likely need to eat 2 or even 3 portions.
What? So their 35-cent idea is actually going to cost you 70 cents to over $1 per person.
Still not bad, but nowhere near as good as they made it sound. And the foods they featured were very carby and not appropriate for us people with diabetes.
Can we do better? Good breakfast for cheap?
We can. Our breakfast is usually yogurt.
But yogurt has gotten so expensive lately, particularly Greek yogurt.
Don't worry. I make my own Greek yogurt, and it costs a lot less than the cheapest Greek yogurt in the store. It takes hardly any work, but it does take time for the bacteria to do their magic. So if you don't have any yogurt right now, you won't be able to make it for breakfast the same day. You have to plan ahead. If you set it right now, you will have fresh yogurt tomorrow. And then making this breakfast will take just a few moments. We've already shown you in a previous video how to make yogurt, so check that out. The link is below. Here's a different way, just as easy, and it works particularly well in winter. Put some starter bacteria in a pot. I use whey from a yogurt I made earlier, but you can also use some yogurt, homemade or commercial. If you use commercial, make sure it's plain and contains live bacteria. Add milk. I use whole. Stir. Heat it for a few minutes. I use a gallon of milk, so I need 5 minutes or so. Set your timer so you don't have to babysit the pot, but you won't forget about it either. Test for temperature. It should feel warm to your skin. Turn off the heat and put the whole pot aside. Cover with an old towel to keep warm. You'll have fresh yogurt in a few hours. We can use it as is, or we can make Greek yogurt. If you like Greek yogurt, it's easy and cheap to make it at home. We've just made fresh regular yogurt, so now all we have to do is drain some whey. I usually place a cheesecloth over a sieve and put the entire thing over a bowl, pour the yogurt in, and leave this overnight. In the morning, we have half the volume of Greek yogurt and half the whey. So now that we have yogurt ready, let's make breakfast.
I usually make our breakfast. Place in a bowl a cup of Greek yogurt, some berries, blueberries are our favorite, and a small handful of chopped walnuts.
Blueberries are the nutritionist's darlings, but any berries are good for us. Strawberries, blackberries, anything. They are all low in net carbs, which you get by subtracting fiber from total carbs. They are also great sources of vitamins and minerals.
When we find berries on sale, we buy lots and freeze some. They thaw quickly, and you can save a few bucks this way. And if the fresh berries are crazy expensive, then the frozen ones can often be much cheaper. That's it. You can mix in some cocoa before you add anything else to the yogurt, and it will give us a chocolatey taste, without costing a lot of money. Cocoa goes on sale in December, and I usually buy enough for several months, as it doesn't go bad.
You can add flaxseed if you like. We also add collagen. It's great for joints and for skin. How long does it take?
A couple of minutes.
Okay, so now how much does this cost?
$25 a serving.
You notice that we can't give you a precise number for grams of carbs. That's because when we make Greek yogurt, we strain the whey, which is where most of the carbs are. So your carb content will depend on how much whey you remove. Instead of berries, or in addition, we also like melon. The least carby melon is cantaloupe. And you can also use other fruit. Just make sure the additional fruit is replacing some of the berries. If you add melon or a banana on top of the berries, you might have too many carbs.
Even if the banana is steel cut? You can buy cottage cheese or you can make your own. To make this breakfast, place a cup of cottage cheese in a bowl and add cantaloupe.
You can use some other melon if you prefer. We like cantaloupe because it's the gentlest on our blood sugar. But you can use a different melon. If you live in a warm climate, you can grow your own melons. I used to grow them from seeds I got from a regular melon I bought in the supermarket. One year we had 42 melons. They were small, but very sweet and delicious. And then, one day, we found Bolo in the street and adopted him. He quickly discovered he likes melons too and gets to them before we can. He eats them whole, rinds, seeds, and all. We haven't figured out yet how to protect our melons from him. He's very creative and very motivated and can bypass any barriers we try. Any ideas how to stop him? Tell us in the comments.
On the plus side, we have lots of melon plants growing all over the yard where he poops.
This next breakfast is what my mom would make me when I was a kid. Again, you can buy cottage cheese, but it's expensive. Luckily, it's easy to make. Grate the veggies and mix with the cottage cheese. Mix it all well and add herbs and spices you like. To make it even cheaper, you can grow your own veggies. Radishes are one of the easiest veggies you can grow. Let a couple go into seed and collect the seeds for later. This way, the radishes cost you next to nothing.
So now we have shared some of our cheap and easy recipes that don't cost a lot. Feel free to adapt them to your lifestyle. What about you? If you have other low-carb and cheap and easy recipes, please tell us in the comments. If you found this video useful, give us a like. Let's help all people manage their diabetes cheaper and easier. Subscribe to our Simply Diabetes channel and tell your friends.
See you next week.